Come and show me the way. Hey, come baby, show me the way. Come and show me the way. You know you wanna show me the way. No more playing games. Hey, come baby, show me the way. Come on, demonstrate. You know you wanna show me the way. Ah, yeah. She a cry, baby, bounce on my body, she a wine for me, no time to leave, no say bye to me, no. Real bad man, me a love and a body, the body make her never say she love me, not. Real got killed from my brother, me a roger that. It's not war, if it's war, me a bringing that. Lady, show me the way, cause you're bad, Need you go bounce, cause you bad, One time if you really hustle for the green, 2 times if you're taking 1 for the team. New level, new tease, boot time, we are make cream. Show me the way. Hey, come baby, show me the way. Come and show me the way. You know you wanna show me the way. No more playing games. Hey, come baby, show me the way. Come on, demonstrate. You know you wanna show me the way. Ah, yeah. Show me the way. Baby, show me the way. Vibe on replay. Replay every day. Kuna moja tu. Mapi asanti. Let's go, auntie. Let's go for auntie. Come and show me the way. Hey, come baby, show me the way. Come and show me the way. You know you wanna show me the way. No more playing games. Hey, come baby, show me the way. Come on, demonstrate. You know you wanna show me the way. Ah, yeah. Stroke, she a cry, baby, bounce on my body, she a wine for me, no time to leave, no say bye to me, no. Real bad man, me a love and a body, the body make her never say she love me, not. Real got killed from my brother, me a roger that. It's not war, if it's war, me a bringing that. Lady, show me the way, cause you're bad, Need you go bounce, cause you bad, One time if you really hustle for the green, 2 times if you're taking 1 for the team. New level, new tease, boot time, we are make cream. Show me the way. Hey, come baby, show me the way. Come and show me the way. You know you wanna show me the way. No more playing games. Hey, come baby, show me the way. Come on, demonstrate. You know you wanna show me the way. Ah, yeah. Show me the way. Baby, show me the way. Vibe on replay. Replay every day. Kuna moja tu. Mapi asanti. Let's go, auntie. Let's go for auntie. Come and show me the way. Hey, come baby, show me the way. Come and show me the way. You know you wanna show me the way. No more playing games.
That's killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system since Rúben left. You don't want to change from the 4-3. Boom, boom, boom. What's going on? People, we are back in the building. This time,
It's a who is next. So listen, we got to discuss it. We have to discuss it. You know, it's not a tactics board. It's not a preview. Although we've got that coming up later on today for the Chelsea game. So please stay tuned for that. But big up to everyone in the building. Welcome to the Joey James Show. And we got to have the discussion, man. Life after Klopp, life after death. Liverpool 2.0. Really, Liverpool 2.0. We're not talking about Klopp 2.0. It's Liverpool, the new era, the new modern age. We've got a lot to talk about. And very simply and quite simply put, what we want to get down and the aim of this stream and of this show, people, is who is next? Who is best to come in and be Liverpool manager? Who's the best man to replace Klopp at LFC after what's going to be 8 seasons in charge of the Reds? You know, for 8 years, almost a decade, Liverpool have gone on from strength to strength. Have obviously won everything there is to win in football. And the next manager is going to come in, is going to have obviously a massive and a tall order, a massive ask to go and obviously try and compete with Klopp, try and beat Klopp, try and outdo what he's done. And look, he's going to have to go and do it. He's going to have to go and do it because we're not trying to stay where we are as a club. The whole point of bringing a manager in is to go and become better. So the question is, who is it going to be? Is it going to be Alonso? Is it Nagelsmann, Amorim, Thomas Frank? We're going to get into it. We're going to be discussing it, and I'm going to be discussing it with you guys as well. So big up to everyone in the building. Make sure we're smashing the like, guys. Hit that like button that's down there on that screen just there. Sorry, people. Make sure we're smashing the like. Please, it does help the channel grow. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you're subscribing as well. Please subscribe. It does help the channel. We're en route to 100 million subscribers. As I always say, that's the goal. So please hit that. Those are likes. As you already know, anytime you see my face in the screen. Let me, before I get into it, let's just get into the comments. Big up to G in the building saying Yaga. I'm just happy everyone's got to answer this question now, not just me. You enjoy these questions, though. Not everyone enjoys these questions. So what I'd say, let me actually brush my hair, moving like American. What I'd say, yeah, is stay blessed. Do you know what I mean? Enjoy the questions that are being asked of you because you enjoy these questions. Some of us, like me, that, do you know what I mean? We don't want Klopp to go. We love Klopp, and we've never wanted Klopp to go ever. And we've been diehard fans, and as a result, we don't want to have these conversations. So, but listen, big up to yourself. We've got James Doherty saying Alonso over all of them, even over Klopp changing his mind. We want Xabi. Listen, we're going to get into it. We're definitely going to get into it. Big up to John in the building, the man behind the intros and the outros. Big up saying that. Big up everyone, and big up JJ. Love the consistency. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. We've got Mr. Brooks saying, afternoon, JJ. Big up. Great channel, great content, like deployed. Appreciate it as well, man. I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate it a lot, man. We've got a Q saying the answer has always been Alonso, whether he wins the German league or not. Big up to Han in the building as well. We've got M. Tarmizi saying, big up everyone. Manager search talk is building up amidst the league tussle. Listen, it is, man. And we've got KZ saying, I can't see part Xabi. I'm sorry. I'll riot if it isn't him. Right, and we got Roach Rees in the building as well, the main man Roach. So what's going on? So, got a lot to talk about, man. We've got a lot to talk about. You know, we've got the two favourites that are out there riding. Of course, the Xabi Alonso and the Zerbi. They are the two favourites at the moment, followed by Nagelsmann, and then you've got a massive pool of managers, all the way from Zidane to Thomas Frank to Graham Potter even. And look, we're not going to discuss all of them. But I wanted to have a look at some of the key managers that I'd be linked with, especially some of the managers that I'm looking at as a Liverpool fan, thinking, you know what, I wouldn't mind having these managers. So who is the best manager? We're obviously going to go and get involved. Now, Liverpool currently obviously have played with a 4-3-3 and have this inverted system, but we've been very reliant on our wingers as players, right? As creators, as attackers. As we know, Mane, Salah, that obviously, Bobby, that was obviously a front three for the ages. We're going to have to move away from that, I think, man. We're definitely going to have to move away from it. This idea that a lot of people are saying, you know, a manager is going to have to come in and continue what Klopp's done in terms of success and in terms of like where we are as a club. Yes, I agree. You can't copy what Klopp's done, though. You can't replicate what Klopp was able to go and do. And I think you're going to have to be your own man and be your own way. And I think Klopp was unapologetically himself, and we're going to need a next manager to come in and be unapologetically themselves as well. So you've got a lot to talk about. And what I'm going to actually do and the way we're going to do it, because a lot of people are talking about, oh, I think this player should come because he's passionate, he's this, he's that. And we've discussed it, and everyone has, right? But the best way I think we should actually go and do it is look at, you know, the situation in the club right now. So the likes of obviously the fullbacks we've got, the defenders we've got, the goalkeepers we've got, apply that to a current formation that some of these managers are playing for. So 3-4-3 or 3-4-4 formation, 3-4-3 formation for Sporting, as an example, with Amorim, 4-2-3-1, the formation that Zerbi uses, sometimes 4-3-3. Xabi Alonso's 3-4-3 as well, or 3-2-1, or whatever we want to go and call it. We're going to actually go and put these formations to the test. So we're going to apply these formations to the players we currently have and have a look and see, what are these formations saying? Like, do we see how this fits into our team? See whether there are holes, whether we could strengthen in any areas depending on how we set up. And that will, I think, give us a really clear indication into what managers come in and what manager could seamlessly come in and fit the bill, and what manager would need a bit more signings. It would need to be a bit more creative with the players we've got. And maybe that will be an indicator into who potentially Liverpool go and get. Because as we know, Liverpool have spent quite a lot of money this summer on rebuilding the midfield. We assume these midfielders were bought in the image and with the idea of Klopp being the manager for obviously years to come. So having the news that Klopp is leaving at the end of the season does change the narrative. We then are looking at certain individuals and they may not fit. They may or may not fit the ideas of a new manager. So I think it's definitely something that we need to obviously get involved in. Big up to Kalonji in the building. We've got Pandux here saying this is a chance for a new start with the same set of key players, and that's what makes it exciting. Interesting point as well. I think one of the factors we need to consider as well, and we will do this, is we have three key players whose contracts are nearing expiry, or they're entering the last year of their contract now. The Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, and Trent are all players that are in the same situation, and we have to entertain the idea that one, if not two, of these players may be leaving in the summer due to the fact that Klopp is leaving, due to the fact that they want to engage in something new. And I'm not saying they will do, but we have to entertain that idea because it is a possibility. We didn't expect Fabinho and Henderson to leave in the summer, and they did. So I think it's definitely something we need to go and have a look at and be wary of when discussing a potential new manager. So listen, let's stick around and let's get into it, man. Let's get into it, straight into it. And we're going to start in the Mediterranean. We're going to start in Portugal. And we're going to go straight into the Amorim 11. Okay, so as you can see, people, Sporting Lisbon usually set up with a 3-4-3. Now, this 3-4-3 can change into a 3-3-4 depending on how attacking they are, and it could easily under Amorim, and from what I've gone and seen, turn up and drop off into a back five. They do go and play a very expansive game, and as we know, we've been looking at the likes of Inacio, who plays obviously on the left. And obviously using that left-handed side centre-back to really squeeze up the pitch and allow their left winger or their left wing-back, who at times is, let me just make sure I'm getting the names right, yeah? So I know you've got obviously Edwards on the right. Let's get this here. Let's get this. It's not Luis Neto. It's not Quaresma. It's Nuno Santos. So Nuno Sancho, or whatever you want to go and call it. Nuno Santos. So Nuno Santos, obviously the one playing on the left, very, very expansive as a winger, but he has been playing as a wing back now for them. And as a result, it means that they have some defensive solidity. You can see the triangles very clearly all over the pitch. So it does mean that, you know, that they can play expansive football. And if I have to be honest, it probably does fit the kind of the personnel we've got currently in the Liverpool team. So look, let's just get straight into it and see how it fits. So straight off the bat, we're obviously going to play Alisson in goal. Let's make the play size a bit bigger. So we're going to play Alisson in goal. Apologies there. 2 seconds. Cool. Go play Alisson in goal. As a left-sided centre, this is where it gets interesting. So Virgil van Dijk is a player that has come out previously before for Liverpool, discussed, you know, Amorim, discussed, with Coleman, he doesn't like playing in the back three. The problem he obviously sometimes plays on the right. Does he play in the center? Does he play on the left? That's obviously a massive, massive question when we go and talk about, the types of centre backs that we've got currently. As you know, Tom is saying Ignacio and Diomande are highly sought after, so it speaks volumes. It definitely does, man. So we need to definitely have a look at that. If we go and have a look now, we put Allison in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some players in, and then we can move some of the players about. So this is the team I would go and look to go and have with the players we've got currently, if we wanted to go and play the way Rúben Amorim plays. 2 seconds. Just putting my players in there. I'm gonna put my back five in first, or my back three and the two wing backs in first, and see how that looks. So, people, the back five, including the keeper right now in an Amorim system, and this is what I'd obviously go and see, this would be my back five. So we'd have obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold. That would be a stereotypical right wing back, and obviously he'd come inside. He'd be in a more advanced position. Obviously, he'd have his defensive work. I think that's what a team would go and look for in him. They could potentially play him in midfield. It does depend what we're seeing. Diaz, for me, is the one that's obviously would play out on the left. And the reason being is that when I look at the personnel of Sporting Lisbon and I look at the players they have in terms of having Nuno Santos, it enables Sporting to attack with a 4 a lot of the time and then have a 3 in midfield. So it becomes a 3-4. It becomes a 3-3-4. So still able to dominate the midfield. You have 2 very fast, obviously, centre backs in Joe Gomez and Konate that cover the spaces in behind. Van Dijk, as he's getting on, able to go and marshal the back line. Diaz there really replicating what Santos can do. So naturally, what I'd want to go and see from him is this. And as we put the midfielders in, I'll show you what it looks like. In midfield, this is the midfield I'd go with. And up front, this is the type of team you'd probably go with as well, from what we have currently at our disposal. So what you'd see there is Núñez taking the role of Gyökeres, obviously up front. On the right, you'd have obviously Marcus Edwards playing on the right. Obviously on the left there, you'd go and have... depends. You could have Gonzalo in that situation, most likely, and that's who I'd obviously go with the team. Now, look, there are a lot of question marks. Of course, there are a lot of team and players we could go obviously and change around, but that's the team I'd go with purely based on what the responsibilities of the midfielders would be. The legs they would need to go and use, especially if you're playing a 3 in midfield, and what you would see in possession, I believe, with having Trent in this situation is this at times. So he'd come forward, he'd get really narrow. We then obviously go over 4 here. Curtis Jones comes into his same position. And we kind of build up very, very similarly, very similarly. These could obviously rotate, but at times, that's what you actually go and see, I think, in possession. And I think it would enable us to still kind of play a very similar a very similar format and a very similar way to which we play currently. There wouldn't be too much of a change. I think obviously having the relationship of understanding when Szoboszlai rotates with Trent will obviously be very, very interesting. But this is what I could definitely go and see happening. Now, of course, you could rotate McAllister for Szoboszlai or take off Jones or whatever it might be. But this is what I would see an Amorim doing in terms of us in possession. And I think you could see it there. It'd be a back 3 with a midfield 3 of Jones, Szoboszlai, and Trent, as Trent likes to invert, it would then allow the likes of Diaz to get higher, Jota to get really high and stay high alongside, and drop into those pockets, and allow Salah to get high as well and closer, closer to the box, and really allow that space for Szoboszlai to move into, for Trent to move into as well. So that's what I see from Amorim. Let me know if you guys agree with it. If you guys think from what you see here, you could see an Amorim type of football work. Look, a lot of us don't watch every single game of Sporting, so to discuss how good the football is, how sustainable it is actually a long shot. But it's effective. They win a lot. He's won everything there is, and he works on a small budget as well. Uses the youth because he has to. He's someone that could definitely fit the profile of an FSG manager if we're looking at things like that. Obviously, the cons here would be we would still see the players playing a very similar position to who and style to what we play right now. So is that enough to go and transition away from what we're doing? As we can see, that we're playing a similar situation at times anyway in games when we're going for games. Joe Gomez, obviously, or whoever plays at obviously at a left centre back, like we've had Robertson play that role. We've got Virgil van Dijk and Konate or Gomez in the past. We've got Trent inverting alongside McAllister. So it is very similar. Do we go and look something? Do we like something like this? Please let me know in the comments. And if you're watching this on a replay as well, let me know what you think of this team. I'm going to obviously get into the comments before we move into the next manager. Big up to Jay Kismet saying Salah has put us on top of the tree. That guy's our best attacker. Taken away this season. We are united. I mean, you say that, but he's been away so far for AFCON, and we've actually looked a bit better, if I'm being honest. John saying, as long as it's not Alisson leaving, then I'm calm in terms of the contract. Alisson's the one as well. We've got KZ saying, can't lie, love a bit of Amorim also. Pandok saying he plays centre in the Netherlands back three. Well, that's my point. At times he has played on the right, but he plays centre. How does that fit? His kind of logistics and how he wants to play is going to be interesting, man. We've got Ravi saying Amorim is my choice. We've got Jerson Gorseb saying big up JJ. As long as we keep Alisson and Trent and get Inacio and a proper right winger, we can survive. I think we can survive no matter what. We've got G saying JJ, allow the Diaz thing, man. Listen, for what we've got currently, this is what I could potentially see happening. I've got to remember as well, Diaz has played in the Portuguese league, so he's someone that's going to fit what Amorim wants to do, I would assume. M Time is saying, I can see Fabio Carvalho has a future with the squad next season. I think Fabio Carvalho is gone, if I'm being honest. I think he's actually gone. Ravi saying, Amorim plays good, effective football and knows how to get and maximize the best out of his team. Oh, facts. We got Kalonji here. I want a manager who won't be scared and a winner who's not scared to go up against the big boys. Xavi has that looming, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll have to wait, man. We'll definitely have to wait. KZ thinks Diaz will be sold. It depends, man. It depends on what the manager wants. And then we got Jay Kismet here saying Brighton look better under Potter, leaks more goals, the Zerbi. Yeah, but then, dude, I don't think they look better. I personally think they look better. Anyway, that's Amorim. So let us know what you think of Amorim. Guys, there's 40 of us in the building. I expect 40 likes. If there's not 40 likes, you guys are cheating me, man. You guys are really cheating me. If I see like 15, like we've got 22 likes, you guys are taking the mick. You guys are absolutely taking the mick. I'm actually an idiot, innit? I'm an idiot. Smash the likes, man. Come on, people. Come on. Without further ado as well, we're going to get the next one up. Two seconds, people. Cool. Can you let me, actually, you guys should see this now. Cool. We got the Zerbi 11. The Zerbi 11. Now, a lot of people, for whatever reason, like he's obviously number two second favorite or top two favorites alongside Xabi Alonso by a lot of the bookies, a lot of the reporters. The Athletic have obviously discussed, Zerbi being obviously front runner alongside Xabi Alonso for the Liverpool job. And if I'm being honest, rightfully so, man. I love the football that Brighton play. Yes, they concede goals, but they concede goals due to the fact that it's the quality of play, isn't it? It's like Liverpool concede a lot of chances, but we've got superior defenders. We've got Alisson in goal. We've got Virgil van Dijk at the back. Brighton, Sassuolo have never had these players. Shakhtar Donetsk were very, very solid defensively in their league because they did have, one of the better teams in the Ukrainian league. You don't have that. You don't have that at Brighton. So, of course, they're going to concede more goals. But I like the fact that he's his own man and he's got his own principles that he sticks by no matter what. And I think that's what a new manager has to go and have in their repertoire. Going and having a look now. Obviously, he obviously plays a 4-3-3. So I'm going to obviously stick in my players and have a look at who could go and play that role. And this is where I think it could get very, very interesting. I think we go with Robertson at the back. It would be Virgil playing his preferred setup. We've got Konate here. Trent. Actually, this is what I think Zerbi would actually do, if I'm being honest. Now, of course, as I've gone and said, people, players can be interchanged, so don't worry too much about the players that we've got here. But for me, this is what I think Zerbi would do. And I'm going to explain why I think so, people. So, as we can see, we've obviously got Alisson in goal. Van Dijk and obviously Konate are our two main centre-backs at the moment. And obviously, looking at what they provide and how well they've done this season, I think there will be a back line. As we saw in the last, obviously, situation with Amorim, I don't think Robertson would necessarily play due to the fact that the lopsided nature of the back four or the back three that he goes and plays, the back three or the back five, depending on how obviously they set up, is a bit more geared towards having an attacker in that left wing spot, as they do with Sporting Lisbon, having Nuno Santos, who's a left winger, playing at left wing back, essentially. That's why I think Diaz could do a good job as well. Very similar to what Cuadrado's done very similar to what obviously Cuadrado done for Juventus as well. In the two DM spots now, very, 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 very interesting there. I think what he would do is go with Jones and Trent Alexander-Arnold in the pivot. And the reason why I think that is because there is going to be rotation between Jones and McAllister in the 10 because of the way Brighton build up. I'm going to get involved in it anyway. For me, Cody Gakpo would actually play instead of Diaz, because I think it could be Diaz. I've just put in Gakpo there because I think having an overlapping fullback enables him to be able to come inside. I don't think you can have underlapping run from Curtis Jones in those situations. McAllister drops in. I've gone with Salah up front because I think if you've got Salah, I think you've got to keep him in the team because he scores goals. I don't think Núñez scores goals. We could put Jota in there potentially, but I think Salah would play. Szoboszlai, I'm playing on that right-hand side of an attacking midfield three. I think he's done it for Leipzig as well. So I think it's something that would be very, very he'll be very accustomed to. When I look at McAllister, for me, he would be the focal point of the team because he was able to go and obviously play under Zerbi before, so he understands the system. Now, of course, you could rotate McAllister and Jones. You could put McAllister in the DM spot, put Szoboszlai in the 10 and put someone else on the right or whoever. I think that when I look at the personnel that they have, I know they had Caicedo there, but now they've got obviously Pascal Gross. They've obviously got Dahoud as well in midfield. they are more similar to Curtis Jones and Trent than they are McAllister and Caicedo as a duo, as a personnel. It's something that I would go for. Of course, it could definitely change, but it's something I definitely could go and obviously see happening. What I would see in build-up and what I think would happen in build-up is a lot of the time when we go and obviously try and get on the ball, this is what would happen. And this is how Brighton play. Oh, apologies, people. So, as you can see here, the build-up is actually like this. It's actually more like this. Whoa. It's actually more like this from Brighton. And the reason being is because, as we see, the ball comes into Alisson, as an example, if he's starting, and he puts his foot on the ball. The centre-back spread really wide, and they wait. They wait for the team to press. And the reason why they wait for the team to press is because what they're trying to do is, if possible, this is why I think McAllister is very important here, find this man here direct if they can. This pass from Alisson to McAllister a lot often is very difficult along the ground unless you're really beating the press and the team's not pressing you, so that's very difficult. But we are trying to get into these half spaces. So enable Gakpo to get into these half spaces, enable Szoboszlai to get into these half spaces, hence why they start wide and they drop into the half spaces. These third runners from midfield are important. So what would happen is Alisson would pass the ball into Van Dijk, Van Dijk into Jones. Jones might pop it back into Van Dijk. He might pop it first time into Robertson. As soon as Jones gets the ball and pops it into Robertson, he spins, he drops in. That then enables, if the runner doesn't go with Jones, Jones is free to get into these half spaces here. Gakpo can get into these half spaces and Robertson can get in behind if McAllister gets on the ball. There's so much rotation in this team. I think it fits this team a lot. And I think the ability we've got on the ball with some of these players will enable us to go and do it. I played Trent in the 6th role because I think from a passing standpoint, he's obviously our best player. Having Gomez that can do the out-and-out right-back situation means that you've got a player that comes really deep and you get Szoboszlai is going to come inside as well. Salah naturally will come outside this way. So you'd end up having something like this at times. We're in build-up. And I think something like that means that Szoboszlai and Trent won't really get in their way. You have to remember, Szoboszlai and Trent have always got in their way when they have been playing as a right back and then having a right centre mid that we go and play there. Something I like to go and see. I like De Zerbi's football a lot. Have liked it since Sassuolo, if I'm being honest. So really, really like it. Can he be the man? Look, I'd be happy with him. And let's be honest, I'd be happy with a lot of these names that are being obviously touted right now. So that's what I see from there. Please let me know in the comments if you like what obviously De Zerbi's done. As we know, very, very obviously quality football. We'd obviously see Gakpo try to replicate the Matoma role. We'd have Szoboszlai trying to replicate what Solly March is doing on the right-hand side. You'd have McAllister playing in that number 10 role where he played for Brighton a lot of games. And then, of course, having the likes of Virgil van Dijk and Konate replicating what Colwill and Lewis Dunk were able to go and do last season. And with Robertson doing the job of Estupinian, do you know what I mean, at left wing back or at left back. So very, again, a team that you could kind of transfer over. And with the players that we've got currently without having to sign anyone, you know, it looks good. You could potentially look at a right back spot and look at we may need a more expansive right back. But apart from that, it looks like a really, really solid team. So let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat what you think of obviously the Zerbi team. Big up to Mr. Tibbs in the building as well. We've got Estonian saying, I hope that every match LFC plays at home doesn't turn into funerals. I mean, people mourning like he's going tomorrow. But if this contributes to actual game atmosphere, I'm all for it. I definitely hear you. We've got M. Tamil saying, JJ, you reckon De Zerbi will look for a left-footed centre-back like someone in the mould of Colwill? Potentially, or it just depends on how good Virgil van Dijk's left foot is. But we could potentially see that. Hence why the discussion surrounding Virgil van Dijk, especially with the comments saying, I'm not sure if I'm going to be here next season, or I'm not sure. We'd have to wait and see because I can't predict the future. There's a big chance that a manager could come in and not like some of the players we've got. So we've got to obviously take that on the chin. We've got John here saying, but remember the Arsenal game, Sobert and Trent on that right side was a shambles. Yeah, but that's playing Trent when he wants to come inside and Soboslai when he's already inside. I think if you can go and keep Trent more central and allow Soboslai to roam around further forward, I think it works perfectly. We've got John saying, hey, JJ, why is Salah centre forward? I told you why. Pandok saying, did the Zerbi play Mac in the double pivot with Caicedo? I think he goes for someone else in the 10. No, not always. Not always. We have to remember there's also Pascal Gross in the team. They also had Lallana in the team as well. They've also had in midfield, they had Caicedo. That obviously McAllister that played in the 6 sometimes in a double pivot. That Pascal Gross who played in there. They had Billy Gilmore that played in there, they got him in there. So they have a lot of players that could play in there, man. Christian Darwick saying, I can't lie, I'm not feeling the Zerbi. I like the Zerbi a lot. Mr. Dad said, just saying, what happens when Virgil takes the Zerbi F off and the Zerbi says to Virgil? Well, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. Listen, we're LFC over our players at the end of the day. Christian Darwick saying, jog on, mate. Yeah, I mean, look, don't jog on, as in we've got to be respectful to each other, but at the same time, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't know why people feel Xabi Alonso is a better candidate when he's only done something for 1 season. It's interesting. Christian Darwick saying one-dimensional manager, and that's what Xabi Alonso is currently. And what is Klopp, and what is like this? To say someone's one-dimensional and you're basing them off what they've done at one team is difficult to say. Well, look, your opinion's your opinion, and I can't criticize anyway. So please let me know. Of course, the next one we're gonna have here is Two seconds, people. Two seconds. You guys should see this now. And as you guys can see, Thomas Frank from Brentford. Not going to lie, if I'm being honest, he is my top 3 manager to manage Liverpool. Top 3. Reason being, I think his ability to deal with the Tony situation has been fantastic. What he's been able to go and do for Brentford as a club has been exceptional. To go and win promotion with Brentford in the manner they did it, to lose key players such as Ollie Watkins, Ben Rama, and rebuild without them and still finish mid-table or thereabouts every single season for me, with probably one of the lowest budgets in the league. He's a top pick. Now, look, he's not fashionable. Some people don't like him. And I don't really know why, but he's someone that I don't like. And I'm going to go and obviously put forward my case as to why I'd go Thomas Frank. So Thomas Frank, I know Darwick obviously is talking about the fact that Zerbi is one-dimensional. I think one thing we can say about Thomas Frank is he is not proven to be one-dimensional in any capacity. I think he's very flexible in what he does. I think he's very dynamic in how he changes the team depending on the formation. So depending on the team. So at times he could easily go to a 5-3-2, but he does usually have to build up with obviously a 4-3-3. When we go and look at obviously at Thomas Frank, very interested. Obviously he goes to a 3-5-2 at times, as I discussed. But it's usually a 4-3-3. But obviously in possession, very, very similar in each system, whether it's a 5-3-2 or 5-2-3 or a 3-5-1 or however you want to go and look at it. Obviously, we maintain width and depth is always essential. Obviously, he likes to go and play very direct. And I think the direct and vertical approach to catch teams out is something that Klopp does. And I think that's a very, very similar fit with obviously the likes of Thomas Frank and being obviously the manager. Very interesting to obviously go and how they go and play. They like to build up with a 3 in defense. So look, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it and put the team in. And we'll start with a 3 and see how that works. What am I doing? 2 Allisons, you know, mad. Last one there, and that's Salah. So, as we can see here, on paper, does look like a 4-3-3. Now, the way I go and obviously look at Thomas Frank is we're obviously very malleable in the way we obviously want to go and play. A reason why, and I'll go for it because obviously we discussed, I think he plays Joe Gomez at right back because he likes to build up with a 3 at the back. Now, unless he needs width is very, very essential for Thomas Frank. He needs the fullbacks, the likes of Rico Lewis, the likes of what's the Scottish guy's name? Right back. What's the guy's name, man? Hold on. Not Flecken. That's a goalkeeper. Who's the Scottish right back? Oh, it's going to annoy me, man. Hickey. There we go. Hickey. Not Ramsey. Hickey. There we go. Mr. Dad, big up to yourself. Hickey. Honestly, he is a candidate. He is a candidate, mate. Have a look at the Athletic. He is a candidate, but it's Hickey. Big up to yourself. But with Hickey, he needs the players to have a lot of width. So as a result, having Trent in at right back is going to be a problem because we know naturally he likes to come inside. I think from what we've got, it might be Connor Bradley. Maybe it's a Bradley. Maybe we can put Bradley in there. Let's put Bradley in there for Bance. Connor Bradley. And as a result, just as we saw in the Norwich game, it gives us a lot of balance, but we've got 2 fullbacks that can keep a lot of width. What that then enables is Endo to really drop in here. And you've got that or this. You've got that and this. And that's how Brentford like to go and play. Now, Núñez would have to go and obviously in that situation play the Ivan Toney role. Now, the Ivan Toney role is a massive part of how Brentford are able to go and play. I think we saw it when he came back on the weekend. His ability to drop into these roles in that kind of Harry Kane manner, and obviously play the video and play the balls in behind into Salah, into Mbeumo, into Wissa. That would obviously be Jota and Salah. Curtis Jones would obviously do the either Christian Norgard. Who else do Brentford have in that situation? Janel, Michael Damsgaard. Do you know what I mean? Really been able to go and play that situation. Obviously, we've got Josh De Silva as well. So a few players that can obviously go and come into that role. But for me, this role would be crucial because that would then unlock the Mbeumo role, which is obviously Mohamed Salah, and the Wissa role for Diogo Jota. So at times, in build-up, it actually looks like this. Looks like a 3-4-3, well, 3-4-1-2. Now, the question is, you need to be the Ivan Toney-esque type of player, and your build-up's got to be really good. Jota's been fantastic in terms of finishing, and his hold-up play has been really good in recent games. Is it to the level of Toney, would we say? Is it to the level of a Kane or the level of a Benzema, as an example? That's the level of, and I'm talking about build-up play, not finishing, not anything like that. Is that something that Diogo Jota would be able to go and do? If it is, then fantastic, because obviously it starts off like this, right? So defensively, it's still going to be like that. You'd still tuck in. You'd still have it probably become a 5 at the back, because you'd have Endo that would come across here. Or you had maybe a bit here. You would come across there and cover there. You'd have a 5 at the back that would obviously come across. You have Diogo Jota really dropping in. Núñez up top. There in a situation, you've got Salah across here, and we'd really try to go and push onto one side and force them to go and play those switches and then deal with the switches and shift across as a team, so they can't really play through us. And as you can see, it's very, very solid in that situation. Problem is, this player needs to be like fantastic holding on to the ball, but then releasing players. So what would happen is if we win the ball, this happens. Straight away, you see him go mad wide and high and wide. We start to stretch. Endo comes across, or maybe Virgil, whatever. He needs to drop in and allow Jota to go in. Very Bobby Firmino-like, right? Allow him to then get forward so he can link up with these midfielders and obviously play balls or set the balls into Trent, into Jones, to obviously play balls into Roberts, into Bradley, into Salah, into Jota. Now, can he go and do that as a striker? I'm not too sure. That's the biggest question for me. If he can do it, then fantastic. If he can learn to do it, great. But that would be the biggest stumbling block for me when it comes to it. And I think Trent would play. I think the next manager to come in will definitely play Trent in midfield. I don't think they play him as a right back. I think Klopp was dead on it. Hence why Conor Bradley will be a big summer for him if he can kind of establish himself with a new manager. But yeah, really interesting to obviously go and see. We've got here LFC Aaron saying mini rebuild, the 3 or 4 players the new manager wants. Exactly, they'd come in as well. John saying Núñez ain't got the IQ to that role, I'll be real. We've got Mr. Dare Drifty saying Jones would be the Jensen role. Big up to Curtis Jones as well. Happy birthday to the light-skinned Scouser. Big up to yourself. Christian saying Núñez passing in the final third is very underrated. No. It's good. I definitely agree. At times it can be good. But back to goal kind of reverse passes in the way that Toney and Kane have done it, or the way Benzema's done it, I don't think it's like that. Christian Darwick saying the only concern I have about Thomas Frank is the massive step up and the pressure he has to deal with. Yeah, but again, it's like any manager, isn't it? Like, where do you step up from Brentford for what they're doing? Do you know what I mean? It's Curtis Jones' birthday, Aaron. He turns 23 today. Big up to Tony Hall in the building as well. Estonian saying, obviously, journalist said to Pep today, saying, next year you'll be the only manager in the Premier League that has won the Premier League. Pep, he said, oh yeah, and not once. Is that a dig at Klopp? I don't know. But yeah, let me know. But look, guys, keep smashing the like as well. How many likes are we on? Let me have a look. We should easily be on 50 likes, man. 132 likes. Guys, can we get to 50 likes? There's 50 people. There's over 50 people in the building. I've liked the video, so that should be, we should be on 52 likes. Come on, man. You guys are, I'm proper putting effort into this. I'm crying, bro. I'm going to have to start crying on stream, bro. I have to just start crying on stream.
Уже хочешь шоколад, блин. Задумала, блин. Мне нужен шоколад. Я тоже хочу шоколад. Oh, my stomach is so much stronger than my arms. What will I do? I can't even raise it. Oh my God. Even though it's from... Oh my God.
That's what you man are doing to me on a Tuesday afternoon. On a Tuesday afternoon. But look, there we go. That's Thomas Frank. Let me know what you guys think of, obviously, of Thomas Frank. Smash the likes as well, people. Let me know what you think of Thomas Frank. Do you think he'll be a decent fit for Liverpool? Cool. Let's get the next one up, man. Let's get the next one. I'm trying to run through these, man. Smash the likes, people. Smash the likes. You know to smash the likes. Smash the likes. You know you need to smash the likes. Smash the likes. Smash the likes. Cool. Now, before we get into it, this is something that I wanted to discuss with us. And a lot of people talking about Xabi Alonso, perfect fit, the right man, Liverpool through and through. Once a Red, always a Red, you'll never walk alone. He's perfect. Look what he's doing at Leverkusen. Fantastic, of course. But The Athletic have released an article really describing and depicting that Xabi Alonso's tactics are not necessarily a natural fit for Liverpool's squad. Which begs the question, will Liverpool bring in a manager who's not a natural fit for the players we've got currently to come in and try and do a variety of different things with the squad? What we're going to do, as you know, I pay for The Athletic, so we're going to make sure we're going to read. We're going to read. I'm going to read the next subject from The Athletic, and we're going to discuss this, man. Let's get into it. As a player, Xabi Alonso would have been an ideal for Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. Just close your eyes. Yeah, he's saying playing passes to Mohamed Salah and Darwin Núñez. Good night, right? As a manager, though, maybe he's not such a perfect fit. Before we rush to anoint him as Klopp's natural successor based on a quick glance at the Bundesliga table and fond memories of how he used to look how good he used to look in red, it's worth taking a closer look at how Alonso's current Bayer Leverkusen side actually play. The main problem for Liverpool, ironically enough, is not that Alonso, the coach, doesn't believe in long passes. He wants his team to play it short on the grass and straight up the middle so fast it will make your head spin. And look at that. Look at the short pass share in comparison to Liverpool's. Liverpool's on about 40%. They're on about 54%. We play more short passes than any team in Europe. a very distinct difference from how Klopp likes to go and play. We spoke about, Thomas Frank, and this is why I started with Thomas Frank first. Very natural fit in terms of the directness and the speed of attacks that Brentford like to attack with, going back to front as quickly as possible. Their philosophies are very, very similar in terms of how they see football. You have to remember, although there are certain components that will fit with Bayer Leverkusen, the fact that they gegenpress as an example, they play more short passes than any team in Europe. So when people go and talk about the Zerbi and say that Zerbi likes to pass teams off the block, Pep Guardiola, this is a team that likes to do it even more. Only a handful of managers have been as ideologically committed to short passing as Alonso at Leverkusen. He's got less in common with Klopp than with Maurizio Sarri at Napoli in 2015 or 2018, or Roberto De Zerbi at Brighton. Good managers in great teams, sure, but not at all like the current Liverpool. Leverkusen's build-up start from a flexible back three that can swing one outside centre-back wide to become a back four when the situation calls for it. In front of them, a pair of defensive midfielders play very narrow at slightly staggered heights, a la De Zerbi's Brighton, for a quick combination play between the lines. So as we go back and as I described, if we go and have a look at Thomas Frank's one, again, very, very staggered in the way we obviously go and build up. So that's something to definitely take note of. Definitely to take note of. Moving on, people. Guys, make sure we're smashing a like as well. Here's a characteristic sequence against Bayern Munich in September. Leverkusen's double pivot as a third man. Leverkusen used their other pivot as a third man to access Xhaka. We've got some diagram going on. Andrich, who's the other DM, makes a third man run to continue the move. Wirtz plays into him, into Boniface, and that's how they go and attack. If we start again, centre-backs have the ball, they pop it into a midfielder who'd be Xhaka's wall pass baits Kane, so that's what we need McAllister to go and do potentially. Now Xhaka is in the space, but Kane is blocking the passing lane. This is where you need our other DM, who I thought would be Trent, would be Jones and Trent in that situation, right? Showing for the ball, bang, into feet, linking with the attacker, and it's the third man runs. Really small, short passes to get past the press, very similar to Brighton. Very similar to Brighton. Third man patterns like these are the basic building block of Leverkusen's short passing game. By dropping one midfielder below another as he receives, they set up a layoff to a player facing forward. He can play another short pass between the lines with one or two touches, creating a lightning quick ladder up the middle of the pitch. Boom, 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 with runners either side. Unlike Brighton, though, who use close combinations in midfield to put Kaoru Mitoma 1v1 on the wing, which is what they do. So very similar. But once they do that, they try to go out wide. Leverkusen's primary playmaker is the central attacking midfielder, Florian Wirtz. Short third man passing in the half spaces pulls apart the opponent's line so Wirtz can turn and dribble straight at the back line, while the young Nigerian striker, Victor Boniface, runs ahead of him to finish the move. Leverkusen play more short passes in the half spaces than Liverpool. And the half spaces are obviously the two of the three thirds in the pitch. So it's a third of the pitch. As you can see, it's the yellow bars there. Look how many passes we go and play there in those areas. We don't play with these situations. We like to go and play on the outside or on the outside of these situations with very much a team that plays wide. We don't play through the team, and this is what's really interesting. You can even see in the box. Look at that. Leverkusen's rapid-fire style is as attractive as it is effective. Their 1.97 non-penalty expected goals per game in the Bundesliga is up more than 30% since last season. The perch at top of the league was more than halfway through the season isn't a fluke. But the way Alonso's side attack is very different from Klopp's Liverpool, with good reason. It's not just about ideology, it's about the players. Like all elite modern sides, Liverpool are comfortable building from the back, pushing their defensive line high up the pitch and patiently picking apart compact opponents. Klopp's secret weapon, though, has been a deadly long diagonals from his back four, especially from Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. So as I've discussed numerous times throughout the years from being on this show, the balls from behind, we like to go very, very direct. We go and look at our two goals that we scored against. For example, the goal we scored against Fulham, Diaz's goal. A long ball from Kwanzaa straight into the back line, going as direct as possible. Go look at all the goals we've gone and played where we just Van Dijk, boom, into Salah, and Salah goes in ahead of him. Remember Mane's goal against Bayern Munich when we went and played the ball over the top with his left foot. Very, very, very direct football. Bayer Leverkusen don't go and play like that under Alonso, and Alonso was never that type of player anyway. While Leverkusen used their midfielders to force the ball through the centre of the pitch, 3 of Liverpool's top progressive passers in the Premier League this season are defenders: Alexander-Arnold and the centre-backs Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate, all of whom are comfortable spraying long balls to runners on either wing. The fourth is Salah, who spent the last couple of years receiving wider than he used to and dribbling from the side to the box to break down defences. As we've spoken about, Salah becoming a touchline winger and his role as a winger being completely different than it has been in years gone by, especially in the early years of Liverpool. As you can see here, Trent Alexander-Arnold, progressive passes. You can see how that's focused down more on the right-hand side, and Salah obviously coming in from the side here. Van Dijk again and Konate spraying long passes as opposed to playing in these middle thirds in the midfield. Alonso's style at Leverkusen doesn't encourage high balls to the wings or wide creators like Salah. Comparing the two sides in the Europa League group stage where Liverpool weren't even using their first string at the halftime, it's easy to see the difference. Look at the amount of long balls we play in comparison to Leverkusen. Looks about double. The genius of Klopp's Liverpool has been finding ways to back up those killer long balls with a high-octane pressing game. So we pump it long, hopefully we can control it and win it. If we can't, our pressing game makes sure that we win it high up the field and are able to go and then and score goals from that situation. Thanks to all their short passing that keeps players close together, Leverkusen are excellent at counter-pressing to win the ball back in moments after a turnover. According to the analysts, they've created 36 shots from high turnover this season, top in the Bundesliga, but they're much less aggressive against an organised build-up. Pressing out of a 3-4-3 looks a little like Chelsea back when Thomas Tuchel was around. Leverkusen allow 13.8 passes per high defensive action, a popular pressing metric that puts them 7th in the Bundesliga. Liverpool have a passes per high defensive action percentage of 9.2, the fiercest high press in the Premier League. This season, Liverpool can be a little chaotic, backing off the offside trap that caused a lot of in recent seasons, has pulled open space between the lines for opponents that crack the first line of pressure to run free through midfield, making games more end-to-end. Still doubling down on their whole old heavy metal identity has been a winning strategy of Klopp. Playing like Leverkusen would change all of that. And this is the key point, people. This is what I want people to remember. If Alonso cut and pasted his current game model onto Liverpool, the high press would drop off into more of a Man City style mid-block. In possession, the creative players at the back would have less freedom to pick out runners over the top, and Salah might have to abandon his wing to create between the lines. So again, they're different in terms of how effective a Virgil van Dijk would be on the ball, how good a Konate would be on the ball, and again, changing Trent Alexander-Arnold's game and really forcing him to become a wing back, or having to go and play in midfield. And that would be really, really interesting to go and see. In possession, the creative players would, we read that. Even Alisson would see his role diminished in a back three system that discourages the goalkeeper from venturing out of his box to join the build-up as a keeper back. This is what I'm talking about. When you've got a back three, the keeper becomes null and void in build-up. All of this could work, and it's creatively done wonders for Leverkusen. But as a manager's job, as a manager's first job is to fit the team's tactics to the strengths of the squad, which is partly why it's very hard to predict whether coaching success will carry over to the next job. Alonso doesn't have a long enough managerial record to suggest how he might handle the transition. Then again, this is the same guy who used to drop 50-yard diagonals with a shoelace width margin of an error, who might soon be the first manager in over a decade to dethrone Bayern Munich. When has he ever missed? Great little article from there. And the reason why I wanted to read it, I know it was a long bit of an article, this is what I wanted to discuss. Alonso doesn't necessarily fit the ideologies of Liverpool. He's not going to come in and try to do what Klopp's done. He has to stay true to what he is. And as a result, if we go into, what he could potentially provide. It's this, people. Xabi Alonso 11. I think this is what we'd see, people. And I'm going to be very bold. I'm going to be very bold, guys. I'm going to be very bold. I'm probably going to get cooked, but it is what it is. Gonna get cooked, but it is what it is. If you don't get cooked, could even see something like this. Could even see something like this, where on a madness, Virgil van Dijk becomes surplus to requirements. He sees Kwanzaa as his main guy because he wants to build on what he's doing. Konate, obviously young. Joe Gomez, still young as well. He needs a defensive midfielder. And unless we go and sign a defensive midfielder current, like that's somewhere we could definitely improve. We have Endo and McAllister will play that Xhaka role. He's the type of player that I think Xabi Alonso would love. You have Soboslai moving out onto the left. Tsimikas plays instead of Robertson because of how Grimaldo plays and how creative he can be. I think Tsimikas probably fits that a bit more. You might even see something mad. And again, I already told people earlier, don't get caught on the players that are playing. I'm looking at profile. Trent playing in that attacking mid role. Whether he can do it, I don't know. It may be Salah that plays there. We might have Trent playing as a DM instead of McAllister or Endo or whatever it is. Bradley will be the Frimpong if we don't sign. And Salah will be the Boniface with making runs in behind. That's something I could go and see. The tactics would be mad. It is crazy. It is bold. I'm not saying for 1 second Alonso is going to do this. But looking at personnel, if you were to go and copy and paste what he's done at Leverkusen, this is what I'll go and see. Now, can people see why an article now would come out and say it's not a natural fit? It will be very interesting to see how this would obviously translate to the Premier League as well. And it'd be interesting to obviously play Leverkusen and see how they actually play as well. Boy, very, very, very interesting. Very interesting, man. So there you have it. Listen, I've looked at, 4 managers now? We looked at the Zerbi, Amorim, Thomas Frank, and Xabi Alonso. 4 managers that I think are my top 4 in terms of who will probably go and take over Liverpool in the summer. Please let me know if you guys would be interested. Or who you guys would be interested in getting. I'm going to get into obviously some of your comments and stats. So, well, guys, please make sure we're smashing the like as well. On how many likes are we on now? Please don't tell me one's 30 still. Which the easy 144. Can we get to 50? Can we get to 50 straight off the bat, man? Come on. We need 6 more. Big up to Honesty in the building saying West Ham's Tim Steiden. Or Steiden saying is in the race to become Liverpool sporting director. The German appointed Xabi Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen. Yet you also signed Mo Kudus, Alvarez, But who else? At Wolfsburg, I believe it was Kevin De Bruyne. A lot of players, a lot of top players. So it'll be interesting to go and see. We've got Honestly saying, off-topic news, Aston Villa must raise funds by the end of June to stay compliant with profit and sustainability rules. Who would you sign from Villa? JJ, I want Kamara or Ramsey. I want Moussa Diaby. I like McGinn. I like their fullback. I like Kamara. I like Louise. There's a lot of players. I like Louise, I like Louise a lot. So Diaby and Louise are my best. Big up to James Doherty saying, don't want someone with a wrong name. Should it be Frank Thomas? Should it not be Frank Thomas? Oh, man. Casey saying, we have adaptable players, though. Are you sure? What makes you think that? Tony Hall saying, Alonso changed to a back three this season due to personnel available. With the amount of systems he's played during his career, I think he'd excel in our squad. Big up to Jamrock in the building saying, Jerry, go and get Martin Zubimendi to help with that. He comes in to replace Thiago. Yeah, Zubimendi will be good, especially in a Xabi Alonso system. I don't think Liverpool will find someone as close to ticking all the boxes to take over as manager as Xabi Alonso. I know that's what people think. I kind of disagree. The difference is the fan base will not give Frank the same amount of patience as they'll give Alonso. And this fan base is United fan base, and Alonso is just getting started. I think the fan base will give any manager a lot of time because I think the fan base and FSG don't sack managers. We've never done that. We've hardly do that. This fan base wants Alonso because he is passionate off the pitch. Why should we keep a team from playing how Klopp played? Just asking this. Men are professionals to be able to adapt. Yeah, that's what I agree. This fan base shouldn't keep playing how Klopp played. I agree. Christian Darwin saying, this is why I'm not keen on Alonso because that means players like Salah wouldn't be influential as he is on right wing to go deep and hit the midfielders out. Exactly. He'd have to come deep and become a midfielder like he's done for Egypt in the AFCON where he did that one game or in that friendly game. Stephen Truthseeker saying FSG don't know how to run a football club. They can run a business but are clueless when it comes to football. Either that or they are deliberately messing up the football side of things. I mean, they haven't done anything yet. I think we need to just calm it down for now. Thiago's back in training but not available yet. Yeah, he's a bit of an idiot, man. He's a bit of an idiot. Christian Darwin here saying, even I don't rate De Zerbi. I think it will be either him or Nagelsmann. Liverpool have looked into De Zerbi for a while now, and I think he is now the front runner to be manager. Honestly saying, hold up, people. Why is a change of tactics necessarily a bad thing? I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's an interesting thing, if I'm being honest. Honestly here saying, Frank, Alonso, De Zerbi, none of them won anything. He's the only one to win something. Is Nagelsmann. If you deep it, but my pick will still be Alonso or Nagelsmann. The rest are a bit meh for me. Well, no, De Zerbi did win the league in Ukraine. De Zerbi has won. The idea that De Zerbi hasn't won is a bit mad. Yeah, he won. He won. Yeah, he's won. You as a player. Yeah, he won the Super Cup, innit? Ukrainian Super Cup or whatever it's called. So he has won something. Obviously, he hasn't won the Premier League, but he has won something. Q saying everything is a gamble. Are we prepared to take it? Is the question. Yeah, everything's going to be a gamble, man. Panda saying a change of tactics also gives us that unknown factor in the league for other teams. They'll not know what to expect from Liverpool. Facts. I'm saying Ukraine, bruv, is like Ange winning in Scotland, bruv, or Ten Hag winning with Ajax. Exactly, but they've won more than anything that Xabi Alonso hasn't won, though. He hasn't won anything as a manager. So someone that's won something is better than someone that hasn't won. It doesn't matter what league you're in. Doesn't matter what league you're in, honestly. Ange winning in Scotland, and look what Ange has been able to go and do. So, do you know what I mean? Q saying, more importantly, who will G give time to should be the question. Facts. Who will G give time to? Stephen Truesay can say, well, as far as I'm aware, Alonso hasn't even accepted the job. It's a steady on. Exactly. He hasn't, man. He hasn't. Are we on 50 likes now? Do I get to like victory, like that? 2 more likes until 50 likes. Come on, people. Smash the likes. Smash the likes. There we go. I think we're on 50 likes now, man. You guys did it. Appreciate it wholeheartedly. 52 now. All right, so man are coming at the woodwork now. Now we're stepping up. All right, say no more. LSC, I'm saying, Jerry, what about Ange? I like Ange. Would Ange leave Spurs, though, after 1 season? But this is my point. They are coaching for a longer period, so they have more experience. They've been coaching for a longer period, so they've had to deal with more stuff. Honestly saying, fun question asked us on Ender's channel as well. Who would the fan base love more if one of you was the manager of LFC? Ooh. I think they would probably love G the most. I think they'd love G the most if G was on board with Liverpool. So if G was like not anti-Liverpool, he was for Liverpool, but was still unapologetically himself, and the way he talks about Liverpool, he talks like that about City and stuff, they'd absolutely love him. But I don't think he would. So I don't think they will. I don't know. You guys answer it. How can I answer that? You guys have to answer that. There we go. You got he's a big red apparently in terms of Ange, and then he would jump at the chance. I don't think he would. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he would. I think he's smart. He wouldn't risk that and then risk flopping just to go and have a chance to manage Liverpool, especially after Klopp. That's a big ask. But look, people, that's been obviously the show today. I appreciate everyone obviously tuning in and making sure that we got up to our 50 likes. Thank you for smashing the like. Thank you for tuning in as well. And listen, at the end of the day, if I'm being honest, and I'm going to keep saying it till the cows come home, it's going to be an interesting appointment no matter who it is. I think Liverpool still need to make sure they secure a director of football. That's going to set the precedent and put in place the foundations for any manager to come in and succeed, whoever that manager is. And if I'm being honest, there's about 5, 6, 7 managers that I'm really open to going and having at Liverpool, and I'm really interested to see what they can go and offer. Estonian saying, sorry, JJ, who do you want at the end of the day? Me, I want the Zerbi. For me, the Zerbi is the guy that I want. The Zerbi is the guy that I think, I don't know, I just like the football, man. I like the football. I like the philosophy. I like the tactics. And I think I'd like to see what he could do with a bigger checkbook than he has had anywhere he's been. So that would be interesting. That'd be really, really interesting to see. If you go and look at Mudryk was at Shakhtar, brought through by the Zerbi. Do you know what I mean? Like, you go and look at all the Italian ballers right now. All of them. Fratesi, flipping. What's the one that's gone to Juventus, man? Not Pellegrini. Let's see the. Let's have a look at the team. And they win a title race, yeah. Obviously Kevin Prince Boateng. Four years ago now, that's mad. Let's have a look at this team. Jeremy Boga, Hamid Traore, Domenico Berardi, Federico Ricci, Giacomo Raspadori, Scamacca, and we knew about Scamacca at the time. Yeah, decent team, man. Manuel Locatelli, that's it. Manuel Locatelli. Yeah, see, he was able to go and do bits for that team, man. Bits for that team. So for me, that's what it would be. Honestly saying, my thing is what of Alonso becomes our version of Pep. He didn't have a lot of experience with it. He could be. That's why I'm not anti him. I'm not anti him. I just prefer the Zerbi. I just prefer the Zerbi. I'm not getting gassed at the fact that he used to be our former player. I don't care about that. Funnily enough, in 6 weeks' time, we could be sitting here after Alonso loses every single game for Leverkusen, and we can sit and be saying he's not good enough because 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, we were all lapping it up for Gerrard. Everyone was like, yes, Gerrard's going to take over Liverpool, you know. Gerrard's the one in line. We were saying Nagelsmann, and Nagelsmann was the guy, and he dropped off. Do you know what I mean? It was Luis Enrique before, and now he's out of the window. Like, managers chop and change all the time. So, for me, it will be De Zerbi, man. Honestly saying G and Savage as the managers, but the problem is Savage will call the journos tampon boys. G will just be watching Palace. Yes, I don't think that'll work. We've got James Doherty saying Tom and Jerry joint managers. I think that'd work, man. I think me and Tom will do business. He could be my Kravitz. How about that? Panduk saying after Jurgen Klopp press conference on LCTV, they started showing Xabi Alonso goals. Oh, they're annoying, man. We got yes sir saying sporting manager okay. He has a similar philosophy to Klopp. Yeah, I hear that. And the thing is, the same thing you're saying with honestly, what if Alonso becomes our version of Pep? That's fine. What if De Zerbi becomes our version of Pep at City? What if that happens? What if he's able to go and dominate? What if we win? We just don't know. It could be anyone. What if Thomas Frank becomes that? You just never know, man. You just never know. But look, people, thank you so much for tuning in, obviously, to the channel. Make sure you're tuning in later on today as we'll be having the preview for the Chelsea game. So make sure we're in the building. Make sure we're staying involved. Make sure we're liking the video. Make sure we're subscribing. Make sure if we're new to the channel, we're sharing as well. Share this out. If you enjoy this content, please share it out, man. It does help the channel grow. But listen, until next time, people, have a great afternoon. It's been the J James Show, and we are out. Take it easy.